Good afternoon. We already started with the chapter with the subject Pharmaceutical Chemistry 1. And the name of chapter is Major Intra and Extracellular Electrolytes. And with this chapter we were completing with first two mode of mechanisms. That is number 1, electrolyte replacement therapy, and second, electrolyte combination therapy. As you all know, this chapter is divided into three parts, three mechanisms. Electrolyte replacement therapy 1, electrolyte combination therapy 2, and physiological acid-base balance number 3. And out of these three mechanisms, we are already completing with the first two. This is the last mechanism and last topic with the chapter Major Intra and Extracellular Electrolytes, and that is your physiological acid-base balance. No doubt, all are well known with the acidity and alkalinity which is developed with our body. But out of these two, acidity and alkalinity, acidity is majorly seen in every number of patients, can't say every, but in number of patients, acidity can be seen. And the disturbance in acid as well as base balance in our body, it is due to different reasons. And whenever there is a different reasons acquired or related or developed with the body, there is a acidosis. There is so-called metabolic acidosis, you can say. That means this metabolic acidity can be developed due to excessive consumption of ammonium salts, renal diseases, mental disturbances, inadequate food intake, sometimes excessive corticosteroids. If they are consumed by a person, the disease may be developed. Sometimes there is a diabetic acidosis should be there. Sometimes there is a lactic acidosis should be there. That means different reasons are there due to which there is a development of acidity. There is a development of acidosis. And if I say metabolic acidosis, it means that this metabolic acidosis is nothing but the increase in acid level in a blood than that of a pH. Increase in acid level in a blood than that of a pH. And generally, if there is a metabolic acidosis, the pH of a blood is 7.32, 38. If there is a metabolic acidosis, the pH of a blood may raise above 7.38. And if it is above 7.42 in a blood, that pH, if it is there, that is so-called metabolic alkalosis. But generally, as you all know, metabolic acidosis should be developed. Metabolic alkalosis is very rare. Acidity is developed with our body, not to say alkalosis or alkali is to be developed with the body. But whenever there is acidity or alkalosis, acidosis or alkalosis, some treatment is required. And whenever it requires a treatment, some sodium salt, potassium salt, they can be used for physiological acid-base balance, like sodium acetate, sodium citrate, potassium acetate, potassium citrate. These are the different compounds that are to be required as an inorganic medicinal substances for the treatment of metabolic acidosis as well as metabolic alkalosis. That means this is the short explanation regarding with third mode of mechanism, that is physiological acid-base balance, with the chapter Major Intra and Extracellular Electrolytes. As per our last explanation, this is the last chapter for your subject Pharmaceutical Chemistry 1. That means with the subject Chemistry 1, throughout the year, we were completing with acid-base balance, acid, base and buffers. Second, antioxidants. Third, gastrointestinal agent. Fourth, topical agent. Fifth, inhalants. Sixth, dental product. 7, official compound of calcium. 8, official compound of iron. 9, official compound of iodine. 10, antidote. 11, expectorants and emetics and respiratory stimulant. 12, major intra and extracellular electrolytes. 13, impurities in pharmaceutical substances. 14, major radiopharmaceutical. 15, identification test for anions and cations. These all chapters we already covered with the subject Pharmaceutical Chemistry 1. And no doubt, all chapters are important for your coming sessional annual exam. Some chapters, they needs a wide explanation. Some chapters in which there is a monograph. With that monograph, you are supposed to go for comparative study, as you already covered with the class. Comparative study means number of compounds, they are to be written in a different columns, and the properties which are same for every compound, or which are correlated or which are equal for every compound, that is to be written. Properties, then their limit, then their reactions, then their uses, then storage, if they are official preparations. That means when you go for comparative study for different compounds, by preparing a chart, it is very easy for you people that to know with every compound, that to remember the details for the compound. And no doubt, the monographs majorly with the compound, they are to be studied only by the part of mugging. तुम्हाला त्याचं पाठांतरच करावं लागणार आहे. परंतु whenever we start with the chapter impurities असेल, रेडिओफार्मास्युटिकल असेल, काही टॉपिकल एजंटचा पार्ट असेल, इनहेलंट असेल, डेंटल प्रोडक्ट असतील, ॲसिड बेस बफर असेल, अँटीऑक्सिडंटचं क्लासिफिकेशन, या काही चॅप्टर्समध्ये तुम्हाला पाठांतरपेक्षा अंडरस्टँडिंग आणि स्टडी महत्त्वाचं आहे. जोपर्यंत तुम्हाला अंडरस्टँडिंग होणार नाही, जोपर्यंत तुम्ही प्रॉपरली स्टडी करणार नाही, यू वॉन्ट रिमेंबर. पण काही मोनोग्राफमध्ये तुम्हाला फक्त पाठांतरच करायचं, जसं फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज, युजेस, स्टोरेज, हे तुम्हाला पाठ करूनच ठेवायचे, तरच तुमच्या ते लक्षात राहतील आणि तरच तुम्ही स्पेसिफिक प्रॉपर्टीज, स्टोरेज यू कॅन राईट विथ युअर पेपर. दॅट मीन्स विथ द सब्जेक्ट केमिस्ट्री, number of chapters they are to be studied with the explanation plus detailed study. Some part of some chapters it is to be studied in the form of mugging. For example, in the chapter identification test for anions and cations, there are number of tests. 23 tests are there, like bicarbonate test, benzoate test, acetate test, chloride test, sulfate test, magnate test. Variety acid identification tests are there. There is no any meaning for understanding, but that every test you are supposed to study only by the way of mugging. But one thing is that if it is possible and if you have a time, then and then go for the study of chapter identification test. Otherwise, prepare all another remaining chapters. And if you keep this chapter for short study, it can be helpful for your coming sessional annual exam. कारण या चॅप्टरमध्ये पाठांतर करायला जेवढा वेळ लागेल, आयडेंटिफिकेशन टेस्टचा विषय करतोय मी, त्याच्यापेक्षा जर तेवढाच वेळ बाकीच्या चॅप्टरच्या स्टडीमध्ये तुम्ही दिला डिटेल स्टडी जर तुम्ही केली, it is majorly helpful for you people that to go through with the subject pharmaceutical chemistry 1. That means today I am supposed to declare for this academic year 2020-21 the subject pharmaceutical chemistry 1 syllabus that is over, that is completed, and every chapter's notes specifically they are given to you. The chapter notes for major intra and extracellular electrolytes. Right now I am sending you notes for the chapter antidote, that is also sent by me right now. त्या नोट्स पण तुम्ही लिहायचे आहेत. सगळ्या चॅप्टरचं एक्सप्लेनेशन आपलं झालेलं आहे. सगळे चॅप्टर बऱ्यापैकी कवर झालेले आहेत. ऑनलाईनमध्ये काही पार्ट तुमच्या लक्षात आला असेल, आला नसेल, जो पार्ट लक्षात आला नसेल तो तुम्ही नोट्सच्या माध्यमातून त्याचा स्टडी करायचा आहे, जेणेकरून तुमच्यासाठी हे सोपं होईल की येणाऱ्या एक्झाममध्ये कुठल्याही गोष्टीची अडचण येणार नाही. टिल देन फॉर अ सब्जेक्ट फार्मास्युटिकल केमिस्ट्री 1 that is to be declared as a complete syllabus from me. माझं काम मी केलं आहे. Now it is up to you only how to study, how to go for study. Is that clear? Thank you and good luck for a subject chemistry 1. In the next videos, one or two chapters which were remaining with the subject physics, that is to be completed. Meanwhile, that syllabus also get ends. याच्यानंतर मी तुम्हाला थर्ड सेशनलचं केमोचं सिलेबस पण आता टाकतोय. आज किंवा उद्या परवापर्यंत ते सिलेबस टाकून देईल, म्हणजे त्या सिलेबसच्या माध्यमातून तुम्हाला पण थर्ड सेशनलची एक्झामची तयारी करायची. ठीक आहे? ओके, गुड बाय.